So a lot of you probably clicked on this video because you're most interested in console gaming using HDMI 2.1, getting that full 120 hertz out of your Series X, PS5, Series S. This is pretty dang plug and play, and I was able to get 4K 120 hertz turned on with this display. Now, using the Series S, I'm probably not going to realize that full benefit. And in fact, I put a FPS ticker at the top right, and I was maybe bouncing between like 60, 70, 80 frames per second in game. If you're looking at other monitors or TVs with HDMI 2.1, 120 hertz, 4K resolution, you're spending in excess of $900 plus tax to get a monitor for your $500 console. Doesn't make a lot of sense that you're paying 40, 50, 60% more for a monitor that you're probably not using as often as you would on a PC or getting the full performance gains out of it. That's where this Gigabyte comes in. The M28U is a beast, and it only costs $599. And so far, I do have to say that if you need a 4K 120 hertz monitor, I am recommending this one. There's nothing that I've seen that makes me say this is a bad monitor whatsoever. And if you want the best performance out of your console without dropping $1,000, then absolutely buy this guy. There's a link down below. Check it out. That's all I ask. I'm not even saying you have to use my link. It is a phenomenal monitor for what it is and a great price. That being said, let's get into the performance here and see what it looks like and a little bit of the setup. Okay, so a couple things. To be able to get that 4K 120 hertz, you don't just plug it in and then automatically it sets to that. It's probably going to automatically set to 4K 60 hertz. So you do want to go into the TV and display options, and then within that, you can check your video modes to see what you're capable of doing. Like this, you can allow 4K. It does have variable refresh rate. It does have HDR. But beyond that, once you get all of those things set up, you will need to make sure that your resolution is 4K UHD on the drop down there, and then the refresh rate is 120 hertz. If those two are checked, you will be given access to games that are compatible with 4K 120 hertz capability. That doesn't mean every game is. That doesn't mean that you're going to just log in and automatically get those settings. There are lists of titles out there for games that are compatible with that. Otherwise, it may revert to 4K 60 hertz or some variation of that. So keep that in mind. I'm not promising that you're going to get this in every scenario, okay? But once I have that set, this is kind of the experience that I had. I mean, overall, it was good for the Series S. You can see here I'm getting between 100, 120 hertz. The resolution, the quality of the display looks very good. It's much better than a 1080 display, and it's much better than a large 65-inch TV because it's all right here in front of you. And that's one of the big benefits of having a gaming monitor is not only the onboard menus that allow you to calibrate it better than a TV, but the fact that it is meant to be in front of you and your field of view is much lower. You don't have to search the screen to find your opponent. It's all kind of compacted down, gives you a better response rate overall, and usually better motion capability, although some newer TVs are pretty dang good in my opinion. It's a win in my book, right? Because what I've noticed is I'm getting a high frame rate, anywhere from like 80 up to 110. Maybe I'll dip a little low, but overall the fidelity, the motion capability was pretty dang good. Make sure you kind of calibrate yourself. Some things that you can do is direct connect your controller to your console. That does help with input lag. Dial in your refresh rate properly. Dial in your in-game settings. Maybe you don't need to have your fidelity maxed out and you just want higher frame performance. So bring down some of the things that take up VRAM usage as much as possible, although there's not a ton of calibration, at least in this game. That being said, you guys, my score for console gaming is this Gigabyte is a beast. and budget options for 4K 120 hertz is the best. And I know it's not a budget monitor, but it did really well for me for a great price in my opinion, so much so that I replaced my previous monitors with this guy. So maybe I'll give you a status update in about 3 months. Hey, that's pretty much it out of me. We have a great channel for you guys, lots of playlists, a lot of videos, 90 to 100 plus videos, all broken down in kind of a curated manner for you guys. We have a great Facebook group, by the way. It is called Only Nerds by Techsessory. And if you want to have more of a long form discussion, you can go join that group. Post your question, your discussion, your topic, whatever it is in that group. And we have quite a few people that'll jump in and have that conversation with you, myself included. I've said enough, and that's where we're going to end it. So I'll catch you in the next video.